Okay, my name is Femi, and I'm going to be showing or demonstrating how I do my castings for my sculptural pieces. And today I'm going to cast little pieces, things like um, miniatures and stuff like that. And so things like this. This is a very small sculpture, uh, and at the same time, a pencil holder or a planter, a flower vase. It's a very little thing, you know. For your tables, these are things you can just very easily put on your office tables and, yeah, dressers at home. Even bathrooms, sometimes, you can actually hold a toothbrush with this, you know, like something like that. And I think you'll find it interesting if you're an art lover. All right, so I'm going to be casting things like this, and I'm going to also be casting, or rather, making molds of flat stuff like this. So I'm going to do quite a few things today, and it's all going to be done in smooth on material. Smooth on did not sponsor this, but this is just the material that I use. I like their products a lot, and the products have been very good, so I keep using them. I've used several of them, and this one is dragon skin, and I'm going to use it to do the casting. I mean, the molding of the materials that I want to cast. And before I start, also I would like to say that I'm going to do two different kinds of molding and casting. There's this little piece here also, very small, very, very small. I just want to use it to illustrate or demonstrate that the other another kind of molding with silicone, which is plastic, and that is polyplastics I'm going to use. Very small. I want to use this very small thing to do that. I've done it in bigger things. That's what I use to make this mold of head of a dog portrait. Right. So, um, and this one was a two-way. So this time around, this is just going to be one way. For this, it's just going to be a total immersion casting. So, how do we go about casting all this stuff? Let me just do this a little bit so we can see the table. Because I'm using just one camera. Okay. I am going to I'm going to need to tie down everything I'm going to cast so that it's not going anywhere, so that it's not moving and it's not going anywhere. Okay. For the most part, I used hot glue for that, just to make sure that it's not falling off, it's not going anywhere whenever the cast is being made. Because sometimes when you pour the silicone, it can move, you know. So you don't want it to move. You want to make sure that it stays down and glued in position. Let me see. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay. Just a little bit will be enough. We don't have to put too much. Just a little bit like that. I'm going to be casting this little stuff too. Um, Sometimes I have to prepare a little more than I want to, because In some cases, you're not able to actually calculate perfectly well the quantity of materials that you need. So what you want to do is to make sure just not to waste a lot. Not that you won't waste at all, but just not to waste a lot. You will prepare for a little bit more, just not to waste. Okay, not that you won't waste at all. We just don't want to waste a lot. We just want to make sure that we're not wasting a lot. Okay, I think that is very, very important, because if care is not taken, you'll be spending too much money, especially on something that you don't need to spend too much money on. All right, so everything you're doing, you want to make sure that you seal it. You seal it right at the bottom. It's not going anywhere. You want to make sure that you seal everything. Now, I may not necessarily do all of this today in this broadcast, but I'm just trying to make sure that I don't waste anything. Okay. Yeah, I make sure that I secure everything. And once they're secured, yeah, you also want to make sure. So sometimes we use clay, for some things, to build up some things, because you cannot afford to, like waste all of the silicone you have. You have to make sure that you cover enough, and make sure that you have enough make sure that you cover it enough so that nothing is wasting, nothing is leaking. Silicone will leak through anything at any time, and you don't really want anything to leak. Let me adjust this a little bit more. All right. You do not want anything to leak. Like right now, I got this made. All right. And I'm going to pour some silicone into this. This is actually a Valentine piece, which is almost over, but hey, it's never a time that it's too late to show anything or to teach anything. You can use this anytime. I'll make sure that you have enough security. Okay, now this is my material that I'm going to use. In order to use this, well, you got to be sure that you read the instructions on it before you use it. If you buy this, whatever you're using, anyway, I don't know what you will want to use, but the pot life is 12 minutes and it kills in 40 minutes. So in less than an hour, you're sure that you're already done with whatever you do. And the mix is equal equal parts. All right. The mix is equal part, and the good part of this is you don't have to wait. It just makes it easier, easier and easier and easier and easier. All right, I can't stress that enough. So if it's equal part, you get cup sizes that, for the most part, you don't even have to measure because the cups are already in the size that you can fill up and measure. I mean, and just use as a measurement. If you don't have measurements or measurement things around, you know, if you're like me and you don't have anything that you're using to measure at this time that you're doing it, then just make sure that you have cups that are the same size and just fill it up. So that way, you know. Yep. You know that you already have equal measurements. You can't miss that. All right. So when you have that measurement, the next thing is you pour it all inside one container, one in the same container, and make sure you scrape it well. Scrape it out all well so that you know that you have equal measurements still. You don't want to scrape out one and not scrape out the other well. You look at it very well and make sure you scrape out everything so the measurement stays the same. All right. I have about 12 minutes to mix this, so I don't have to be worried that I may not have enough time to mix it all. 12 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm mixing it. All right. So in 10 minutes, I should be done with the mixing of this. I mean, usually in 1 minute, it's already totally mixed, but you just need to be sure that you're mixing it real well and nothing is missing. No swirling. Everything is smooth, just like the name, smooth on. you know. And when you have it all smooth like that, you know you're done. You can pour it. I'm going to pour this now. I just got used to all this pouring from the top to go little by little, slowly, and see that, okay, all bubbles canceling out and stuff like that. I tell you what, it's good. Sometimes it really doesn't even matter. I mean, I've tried it, you know. I'm not saying just do anyhow. Make sure that you do it well in such a way that it's canceling out bubbles, you know. it's all going to come out nice either way, because I've tried it. This is very good product. See, the reason why it's good to have something extra is this, because oftentimes you mix too much material because you can't calculate too perfectly, you know. So you have so much extra left. And you don't want all that extra to waste. This is different from plaster. Plaster is a lot more cumbersome than this. This is a lot easier. All right. And we're going to see pretty soon the whole thing will be completely dry and stiff. And we're going to be ready to cast. Whilst we're waiting for that, I'm going to prepare this. I've cut out a board already to make sure that I'm able to do the casting the way I want to do it, the way I need to, without wasting too much material. Okay. So I'm gonna get my glue gun. And I'm going to glue it tight. I don't know the reason why other people use hot glue, but I use hot glue because it's just very fast. I think fast is good in these days that we're in. Everybody wants everything pretty fast. They want it like yesterday. So for me, hot glue is the thing. It just works. Okay. Like I said before, you need to seriously secure everything that you're doing, every place where the escape might be coming from, you need to secure it. Because silicone is almost like, it behaves like water or like air somehow. It'll just find its way out. And you don't want it to leak. Because if it leaks, then it might not be enough for what you want it to do. You want to avoid that. Yep. Yep. Seriously want to avoid that. You don't want any leak. Okay. Um, we're waiting for this to dry, and it's almost there. And I'm just gonna push it forward a little bit like that. And like I said, there are other kinds of casting. I just want to use this and demonstrate this because for this, still the same way, equal by weight and volume. So you measure this, okay? And I'm just gonna eyeball this because this looks pretty much the same, you know. Gotta see that this one is like the color of my glove. And I'm just gonna mix it. So, this is not hard. You can do this two ways, or you can still just do it at one. You know, this because of the nature of what I'm trying to cast, it's just so easy. Um, it's gonna be easy to pull out. So I'm just gonna do it one, just one like that. I'm just gonna press it into it. There's no air bubble in this. There's nothing to escape. There's no point worrying about air bubbles or anything. I'm just gonna press it in just like that. Soft and easy. Nice and tidy. So easy. This is it's almost like a 2D, even though it's 3D. And that's that. In a minute, that'll be completely done. And all we got to do is pull it out. And that will be that. So casting is not a very difficult thing like many people would think it is. It really is not. I'm going to mix more volume for this so that we can go ahead and cast this. And we'll come out at the end of the day and see what the result will look like. Okay. Okay. Um, let me get rid of this. And then I'm going to I'm gonna mix more volume for this. Oops. And always make sure that you have marked the one that you're using for which one, for, for part A or part B. Mark them separately so that you be sure that you continuously have the same product in each cup if you're going to reuse the cup. That is, if you're going to reuse the cup. All right, that's enough. Oh, okay, I'm going to use a different cup here. Because you know what? The cup that I'm using is like paper. And yes, although it's kind of have it kind of has a plastic form of um, texture, but it's paper. All right. And in some cases, some will pour it into another cup again and mix it again. I don't know that that is so required. I did it like that before. It worked well. And when I didn't do it like that, it still worked well. And all I need to make sure is that I have thoroughly mixed it and there is no swirling. Everything is looking good. All right. That's just all I need to be sure of. And once that is ready, I know that I can go ahead and pour. And notice I'm not even using any mold release here. And the reason why I'm not using mold release is that what I'm doing is just it comes out very easily. This is not the first time I'm doing this. It comes out very, very easily from the silicone. It doesn't come with the silicone. Now it would be a different case if I was trying to make a mold of a silicone material, you know. That way, oh yes, I'm gonna have to. I will have to, definitely have to um, use a silicone material. Now I'm going to need to mix more and just use new cups, entirely new cups. So I just basically um, fill up the cups because I don't have to measure anything now. Yeah. since they're just full. It's different from when it's not full and then I have to measure it, because it has to be equal. Always remember that. It has to be equal in size. I think that the other one is ready by now, and I'm just going to finish up this very quickly. All right, mixed up now. Well mixed. Oh, you probably were not seeing all of this before. I don't know. I'm not sure. It looks like it wasn't in the center of the recording. Well, either way, I brought it in now. Make sure it covers through. Yep, everything covers through. And yep, can clean that and let it dry. Yeah, you can remove that now and breathe. All right. And like I said before, I don't have to cover. I mean, cast everything um, in one sitting. I'm still gonna do this later. I'm still gonna do this later. Well, at least the whole idea is to make sure that I'm not wasting anything. I'm not trying to waste anything. So if it had happened that the silicone was so much extra, then I would have done more. All right. See, this is ready, and I used money. Cool. This is ready. This is ready. It's got some bubbles on the outward, but it's ready. It's got some bubbles, but it's ready. Now, for this one, I'm gonna have to cut this. That's what happens when you use plastic to make your molds. That's what happens. So, yeah. Yeah, sometimes your hot glue touches your table, so you have to clean it out. You just have to clean it out. All right. Alrighty. So I'm going to cut this out. All right. Sometimes some of these you can still reuse because all you got to do is tape it. Just tape it and then you can use it. You can use it if you have something of equal size or thereabouts that you want to cast. You just tape it, and that will be that. You can reuse it. Um, there it goes. Um, a few times I've kept things like this, but most of the other times I just throw them away because you always find something to use for that. So now this mold is here. The reason why I like this material so much is because it's so soft. And you don't even have to cut the mold. At that one piece, you can just pull it out. So easy. It's so elastic. You don't even have to cut it. Nothing is disrupting anything. It's just fine. The whole thing just comes out in one piece. I've done some castings before where I actually broke my artwork. I'm like, oh my goodness, it broke. Yeah. But this is a very soft material. This dragon skin is so soft. A lot of people use this for skin effects, for movies and stuff like that. They use it to create masking and all that kind of stuff, right? And but I don't do any of those. This is what I use it for. I use it to make molds, to cast some of the things that I do. Like this is going to be just a keychain, right? And all I'm going to have to do is put the hole on top of it where you can hook this to your keychain, and that's that. You know, you can remind it you need to be calm. That's the person that's really calm. Okay, that's a sculpture of calm, peace. Hold your peace, and that's that. And when I'm ready to cast this, um, we're gonna go out and cast it. Um, this is the other piece. It's so nice to work with clay. I don't have to cut anything, and it's not sticking to the clay either. It's so easy to remove, you know. And look, I tell you, some things are just easier than you think. A lot of times, some people would be fearful of doing some things, say, "Oh, you know what? I just can't do that. I, I, I don't know how to do that, and I'm just scared to do that. Oh, if I do that, it's just gonna be this. It's good. No, it's not gonna be anything. It's just gonna be good, right? It's not gonna be anything but good. So it's just going to be good, and that's all it is. And sometimes the reason why you don't want to use too much hot glue is because even though hot glue is fast, hot glue sometimes can be difficult to remove. That's why some other people use wax. You know, they don't use hot glue; they use wax. Part of the reasons why your artwork may break sometimes is because you have used hot glue and you've overused it. Yeah, because you're trying to secure it. You have used too much hot glue, right? So this goes right underneath. See, the silicone went right underneath to make sure that there's no airspace. Anyway, here we go. It's so easy. It just comes out easily. And it's just so nice. I know that when I do the casting now, it's gonna be wow. Because this already looks so good. I like it. I just like it. Sometimes you want to kind of do some light trimmings and just make sure that it looking, just one of those things. But who cares? That's just if you care. I mean, because it doesn't really make any difference. It's not doing anything extra. You know, but we all like to just be neat, right? I like to look neat and be neat and all that. That's all. Okay. So anyway, that's that. Now, what I'm gonna do next is the casting. Notice this is sulfur-free clay, and that's why the thing is not doing anything against the silicone. The silicone is fine, and the clay is fine. I'm going to reuse the clay again. That's why I keep it right there in the bag. I bought a real big chunk when I bought it. So that's going to last for a very, very long time. Clean the table once again. Now, when it comes to casting, you want to be sure that your environment is open. You want to be sure that you can breathe, because sometimes some of the materials you use for casting, the smell, they have some terrible smell, and the chemical is also dangerous. So you want to make sure that you can breathe. You can have air recycling in your environment. If you can't do it outside, if you have to do it inside, you make sure that the window is open. You make sure that you are wearing gloves and what do you call it? Face mask, so that sure, you know what I mean. So at least you know that you're safe. Okay, you secure your health. Health is more important than anything else you can have here on earth. So make sure that you take care of yourself whenever you're into that. All right. Um, the material I'm going to use for casting today is Craft Smart, rather, Craft Smart. Okay, Craft Smart. That means be smart with your crafting, right? They didn't pay me. It's just that that's the material I'm using. That's right. Sometimes some people be thinking, oh, they must have paid you to use it. No, 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 they didn't pay you. If it's good, if you're using it and it's good for them. It's just working for them. So they did a good job. That's it. You know, and whether people like it or not, they're going to promote that um, material, not because they actually want to promote it. It's they just don't know. There's no better way to do it other than to mention that this is what you're doing, this is what you're using, and especially when it's for educational purpose, so people can know, what they can invest into, what they should invest into, and not continue to do experiment like some of us have done. You know, we've done so much experiments using different kinds of materials, and some of them are good, some aren't. All right, so he can actually help people understand some of the ones that are good. Smooth has very good casting products. I've used a lot of them a lot of times, right? And I'm still using them. I still use them. This one is the one I used recently for a very big project, and I have some left. And that's the reason, that's what I'm using today for this smaller projects. In the same manner that we did the silicone, we are going to do the casting. We are going to mix equal parts of the A and B, mix it together very well, and then we're going to pour it into the molds of what we used before. And that's how we remove that. So easy, so very easy. This is very good product too. Like I said, I used it before several times, but this is one mold that I have around, um, where I used to do the portrait of a dog, and I like it so much. So it's all there. It's also ready. I can cast it. Look at that. Look how clean it is. You know, it's funny. I had to use money to to glue it, just so I don't overuse the material. Yeah, okay, so that's that. Now, oh my time. I think I'm just going to stop this right now, and we are going to do the casting later. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Um, I appreciate all of you that are tuned in, and I'm going to do the casting another time. Thank you. Stay blessed. If you like this, make sure you subscribe. I probably will be doing more of it. I'll do different kinds of casting, different kinds of molding, um, different kinds of sculpting. Um, like I showed earlier on, I do sculpting with, I do a lot of sculpting with foil, and it looks very metallic. Once it's done, it's hard and it's like silver. It's like I actually did silver casting. It's not silver casting, it's foil, but there is a technique to it. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching, and stay blessed.